Welcome back. I have a special guest for the Before We Dive In segment today. Sophie, who is one of the awesome coaches here at Sleep and Wellness Coach, is now the mom of 3 little girls. Her youngest recently turned 4 months, and I asked Sophie to come on and chat with me about what it's been like adjusting to life with 3 kids. So, Sophie, fill us in. How nervous were you about adding a 3rd little one into your family?
Hi, yeah, I was pretty nervous because 2 felt really hard at times. And I just thought, especially when I was pregnant, I thought, how am I possibly going to add a little newborn into this? And even when we just had one baby, that felt really hard too. So, no matter if you have 1 or 2 kids, I think adding a kid, at least for me, it made me nervous. So, yeah, I was pretty nervous coming into it.
And I'm curious, I've had a lot of people tell me, I just have 2. I shouldn't say just, but I have 2. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's harder to transition to having 2 than it is to 3. Once you get over the hump of 2, it's not any harder. I'm curious. Do you believe that? What's your thought on that?
I think it's totally personality dependent. And a lot of families out and about, since we've had 3, they've like bigger families, I should say. So 3 or more kids, they always tell us like, "Oh, how are you doing? Like the transition to 3 is the hardest." I think they're just trying to be nice because I do think that it totally depends on the kid. But for us, 0 to 1 was the hardest. That was Marlo for us. And she was a really difficult baby. She had acid reflux. We didn't know what we were doing. So that was the hardest transition. 2 felt pretty easy. Rosie's really laid back, even as a baby. And three's been okay. So yeah, I think it just depends on personality.
I love it because I remember one day you, Beth, and I were having coffee and you said, I'm thinking about maybe having a 3rd. So I was really excited when you said, I'm having a 3rd.
Yeah, you guys both gave great advice. So thank you for that.
Love to hear it. So now that you've had a handful of months being a mom of 3, and I realize a lot could change at any moment, what would you say to someone who's listening who is feeling anxious about the idea of having a 3rd and being outnumbered? You can't even go man on man with your partner at this point. So I'm curious, we had that conversation in the coffee shop when you were thinking about it. I'm curious what you would say if someone said, well, I've been thinking about it, but I'm a little anxious about it.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, you do adapt, I do think. 2 felt hard, but then now 2 feels easy. So going to the grocery store with like both my big girls, it's a breeze, where before that was a stressful event for us. And then I'd also say they entertain each other now, which is nice. Like the baby sits in my lap and watches the 3-year-old and the 5-year-old just do 3-year-old and 5-year-old things, and she's just totally entertained. And then they're also entertained by her as well. So Marlo sits there and makes faces with her, makes her laugh, and it's adorable. But it also takes a lot of pressure off of me. I just kind of like sit back and watch it happen. So I would say to someone who's feeling anxious about it, it makes it easier when your kids are older and can entertain. It's also way easier having a 5-year-old with a newborn than it was a 2-year-old with a newborn. So if you're looking at that 2 to 3 transition, if your oldest is 4 or 5 years old, it's going to be a lot easier this time around, at least in my experience.
I think that's a good point, that the age gaps can really play a role in how easy or not easy it is. Well, thanks for hopping on and chatting with me. And we would love to hear from parents of 3 kids or even more, because I know we have some 4 and 5 kids, families, and the group that I love to hear from and work with. But I would like to hear from you guys. How was the transition as you transitioned to 3 or 4 kids? Hop over to Instagram and comment on the post for this episode. And thanks so much, Sophie. I'm going to be bringing you back real soon to chat about some other topics that we've touched on. I'll talk to you soon. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Today's episode is for all of those parents who are dealing with multiple requests to go potty during bedtime. If your kiddo is the reigning king or queen of using potty breaks to stall at bedtime, this episode is for you. Hi, I'm Allison Egidi, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Kids are so dang smart. As parents start potty training, it's not uncommon for them to say something like, "Okay, let me know if you need to go potty." Chances are you're saying that multiple times a day, maybe even around bedtime and sleep. And for some of those smart kiddos, they quickly realize this is their golden ticket for stalling bedtime or for getting out of bed after you've tucked them in. What starts as one extra potty break can quickly snowball into many. And it can really put parents in a pickle because you've told your child to let you know if they need to go potty, and we don't want to ignore their request if they do in fact need to go. But these extra breaks are clearly excessive. So how do you put a stop to this? Support for this episode comes from my absolute favorite toy store, Shenanigans. If you're in Charlottesville, you already know this is the place to find high quality, unique, and super fun toys for kids of all ages. But here's the best part. They actually ship worldwide. The owner, Amanda, is a former teacher, assistant principal, and a mom. So she totally understands what makes a toy both fun and enriching. Whether you're looking for the perfect birthday gift, a special surprise, or, like me, your annual beach vacation puzzle, this is the place to shop. Not sure what to get? They offer personalized shopping support so you can talk to a real person for expert gift recommendations. Plus, every order comes with free, high-quality gift wrapping, so your present is ready to go as soon as it arrives. Amanda created a special code just for our listeners. Use the code SLEEP to get free shipping on your first order. And don't forget to note that you would like to take advantage of their amazing free gift wrapping. Head over to shenanigans.toys and support this incredible small business today. First, I encourage parents to keep their child in a pull-up for sleep until they've gone at least a month sleeping all the way through the night and staying dry for both nights and naps. That way, we are not setting them up to wet their bed if we end up holding firm to something we said and they did need to go to the bathroom. But I don't think that's how we're going to end up, but good idea to keep the pull-ups on for long past where you start to think they're ready. Second, avoid bringing up extra potty breaks when it comes to sleep or bringing potty breaks up at all. Of course, I want you to have them go to the bathroom as part of their bedtime routine. But then I would not mention going to the bathroom again until your child is up for the day the following morning. Third, don't give your child milk or water right before bed or even during the bedtime routine. I recommend offering milk and or water with dinner and then cutting off liquids so that you're setting your child up for natural success around not needing extra potty breaks and for staying dry all night. If your child is already in the habit of requesting extra potty breaks at bedtime, it's time to introduce some really clear structure. Make sure you have a consistent bedtime routine and that going potty has a clear and consistent place within that routine. When your child is on the potty for this bedtime bathroom break, be sure to tell them that it is time to go potty. And they will only be getting one extra potty break after this one if they need it. If your child then asks for another potty break during the routine or after you've tucked them in, you will very calmly oblige and just simply say, "Okay, but this is your last potty break." If your child then asks for another potty break after their one extra, Gently remind them that they've already had their extra potty break and that now it's time to go to sleep. And this is when you need to be mentally prepared for your child to have some very big feelings about you sticking to the structure that you told them about. You're going to hold that boundary. Remind yourself that you are only holding to the structure that you already told your child about. They're testing you on it, but this is not a surprise. You can also remind yourself that they have had 2 recent potty breaks and you have them in a pull-up, so you are not setting them up to wet their bed. By allowing them to then express their big feelings while still calmly sticking to the structure that you put in place, they will quickly adjust, usually within just a few nights, and you will only be doing 1 extra potty break. If you find that your child decides to then always take advantage of that 1 extra potty break because you said this is the limit and they said, okay, I'm going to take every bit that you're willing to let me take, but then you find out or start to notice that they aren't really actually going to the bathroom and they are really just using this extra potty break to stall, you can take this same approach and remove that extra potty break. You just want to be sure that you communicate during the bedtime routine that this is their last potty break at bedtime. And that if they ask you for an extra potty break, you will not be taking them back to the potty. And then after you've communicated that, most importantly, you need to stick to what you said. And just like introducing and holding to that structure got you down to just 1 extra potty break, it can also get you down to no extra potty breaks at bedtime. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you don't already, please follow the podcast on your favorite platform so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love, love, love for you to rate and review the podcast. It is the best way to help more families find us. As always, thanks for listening. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.